What's happening, gang? Now we've got Ruby in the shop, and yes, I can actually fit a full-size truck in the shop with plenty of room to spare, as long as I move all the tractors out. Gas tank time. I don't even think I have to jack the truck up, because top of the tank there measures 15 inches, and between the bottom of the bed and the ground is 18 inches. So I may jack the front up, just level it off a little bit, and give Dave and I a little bit of extra room to maneuver under there. It has a new fuel tank on it. Look, I've got a bird crap hanger. It's just like a stalactite or a stalagmite. Ew. That's kind of crappy. Alright, enough of the jokes. 34 gallon tank. Big tank. Looks like I have to reuse my safety nozzle dealio, which is no problem. I'm glad the tank is fully painted. I shouldn't have to worry about leaks for a good long time to come. It arrived in good shape, so no worries there. I guess now the only thing to do is set the camera up on some sort of time warp and just get busy. And then I'll let you know what the real time was for lowering the tank, disconnecting the brand new fuel pump and sending unit to the tune of $600 and some. So don't need to replace that because it's already been replaced when the engine was done. But we've got the tray and the tank both to come down, so I'll bring you guys back when Dave and I are under it and getting ready to bring it down. I've got my two jacks there, and this is my motorcycle jack, but got a nice big flat surface. This is the large model, so I've got plenty of room there, so that will go under and help support the tank. I'll just use my electric impact to raise it and lower it. I don't know what the full height is on that, so I may have to use blocks, but we'll see. Anyway, enough of that chatter babble for almost 3 minutes. Let's get to it. Alright, we're under the truck, just showing you the belly pan, and there's no evidence of leaks right now because there's so little fuel in the tank, so you don't have all that weight pushing down on it. Let's scoot under here a bit. We've got one bolt right there, and we scoot over here, and we've got one bolt right there, and come back here, and they hook right into here. So I do not need to take the back off. I just need to take the inside inboard out, this one and that one, and then have the jacks underneath the tank as well as the motorcycle lift underneath the middle of the tank. Just slowly bring it down, and as I bring it down, I'll get it down far enough so that I can get between the tank and the bed of the truck in order to free the fuel pump and sending unit from it, because as mentioned, it is new. We've got a new fuel filter down here too, you see, and the underneath side of the truck and the frame and everything is in really nice shape on this. You guys have never been privy to seeing it. Here's my Flowmaster FX. It's my 2-into-1, and it's a, I think it's a 2.5 in and a well, it's factory 2 3/4 out. So, but one good sounding muffler right there. And I see, if you look straight up there, all this grease slinging. To me, and right here on the plastic tank guard, To me, it's a good sign. It's greasable universal joints, and they have been regularly greased. If not, we wouldn't be throwing that grease, right? And we have a greasable yoke. This is a two-piece drive shaft setup. Some of the trucks had them, some of them didn't. This being the heavy duty, it's got this carrier, bearing carrier here with another slip yoke. It allows that to move in and out a little bit. That's why it's important to have a grease zerk on it. And we come down to here, and I don't see much in the way of grease slinging out on that yoke, but I just tried twisting and nothing's moving at all. No play anywhere. But anyway, like I said, frame's in really good shape. There is little to no. Let me grab this flashlight here. See, the frame is in really good shape. Even the rockers are in good shape. The only problem we have is just right here, this little bit of a cab corner, and then over on the other side of the truck underneath, here's where I've already got that disconnected and just hanging out. On the other side of the truck, we've got a little whoops, and I could probably work that whoops out, bring you right to it. It is right, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it there, right there. You can't see it while you're standing next to the truck, but let's take a look inside here. Maybe, yeah, you can see it a little better there, but that can be popped out to look a little bit better. But you know, looking at it, all the original primer and everything is still intact, and like I say, here's the other frame rail. Here's the other frame rail, and it's in really good shape. Even cab mounts aren't horrible. They're worn, but not horrible. And another rocker panel that has very minimal rust, and a cab corner with zero rust. So my guess is this truck was garage kept, and my hopes are to again get it garage kept after I get some things sorted. But yeah, nice, good, clean, solid truck, inside and out. Inside and out. Got a little bit of a leak up front here at the transmission yoke. Let's go take a look at that. It's just coming down on the transmission mount. Let's see what that is. Since we can get under here with ease, let me get you guys situated here. All right, there we go. Yeah, we've got just a little bit of seepage, but I don't see any drips here. And I did have the transmission fully serviced, fully flushed, and then went with Deck 6 synthetic. So if there was a problem, they would have let me know, because Rick and his team are real good. Todd and Jeff and Lloyd and all them, they're all really good at making sure that anything that creeps up, they call me, I come out and take a look at it. So, but there we go. This is the old tank that's coming out, and we'll get the new tank in there. But right now, let me get scooted out. There's some rusty brake lines and then new brake lines run. You can see here, they just left the rusty brake lines in. And yeah, those look like compression fittings. They're not. They're flare nut. So the ends were flared, and those are, it's just a flare nut connector. So no worries. No worries. Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've really been deep under it to take a look at it, and everything's in really good shape. Shackles, rubber in the shackles is a little bit deteriorated, but that's to be expected, you know. It's a 23-year-old truck. All right, I'm gonna get my game plan and wait on Dave to get over here, and we will get this tank out. What do you say? if you're game for that, I'm game for that. See you guys in a little bit. Now, we interrupt your regularly scheduled broadcasting of putting the new tank in Ruby because Zippo's a dummy. Now, a little bit of a gripe, but not really, because this tank fits a lot of different GMT 400s. Okay, so this is the original tank, and when I say I got that thing just about empty, there's probably only a gallon of gas in that. I've not emptied any more out, but let me just show you. Maybe. Hang on, I gotta switch it down. O-ring. There we go. Okay. I don't know if you can see down in there, but there's like next to nothing in there. A gallon, maybe 2 gallons. But anyway, I digress. The new tank there is sitting right there, and well, it's a pretty tank. It's all brand spanking new and the whole 9. Only one problem. I didn't scroll to the bottom of the page to look at fitment. Now, that tank absolutely fits the truck, but that's a diesel tank. The difference between a diesel tank and a gasoline tank, one is there's a vent hose for the gasoline tank, and the fuel pump diameter is 4 inches, and the sending unit. On the diesel, the diameter of the opening is 3 inches. You can't put a bigger round thing into a smaller round hole. So I have to give props to Parts Geek. They figured it out. We were both stumped to begin with because it was coming up the right part. And then the kind young lady scrolled on down and she goes, oh, 99 C2500. That part number is associated with a diesel truck, not a gasoline truck. So what did Zippo have to do? I had to buy another tank. And of course the gasoline tank costs more than the diesel tank. The diesel tank was $145. This tank, the new tank, is $212. Don't know why there's such a big difference, but there is. That fuel pump's held in by a C-clip, which is rock cheer. Just regular old big C-clip. That's what holds that fuel pump in. And what holds that one in is the old twist lock deals, which is what I'm accustomed to. And short story longer, long story short, however you want to dice it up, I ordered another tank, so I had to get Ruby out of the shop so I could put the tractors all back in the shop. We will resume this. Oh, and I forgot to set the time lapse on taking the tank out. And wasn't too bad. The only issue that I had was I bought this set of fuel line disconnects and fuel filter disconnects, and yeah, they don't work worth a crap, and it was the most expensive set, 25 bucks. So whoever makes these, they're toolbox decorations in pretty colors. I'm used to seeing the metal ones that have a taper here, a little bit of a taper. And let's see, I'll take so it was these two, one for the big one, one for the small one. I'm gonna show you. I can show you. These are push click connectors except for the center. Okay, well, when the line is on, it's way up here, way up there. With this boss, and you can see that that is raised. See how that's raised? You can only get the bottom in there to push it in and unclick. You cannot get the top in. See, now right now it's holding just fine, but there's a big lip that comes up quite a ways, and you cannot force that sucker in there no matter what you do. And I was under the truck just fighting it. And finally, good old trusty flathead screwdriver got the 4 tabs moved out of the way on both of these, and I got them off without injury to the fuel pump, because that's very expensive fuel pump sending unit, 600 bucks. But here's the sending unit arm, the float. But at any rate, that was the only fiasco in getting the tank out. All the rest was just cakewalk. Tank was loose and ready to come out in no time. So I used a zip loader to pull Ruby out there, and I had to be careful because I have a pair of nesting doves that are only about 3 feet away from the truck to the right. Let's see, one of them is up there on the phone, or on the power line just above the transformer, and the other one, I don't know if she's back down on the ground or not, but she didn't move. She stayed still, and I've got to be mindful when I go to mow that I stay away from her. We're going to come up really quietly and just check and see if she came back. I don't see her, so she's not back yet. I'm not going to walk all the way up. She's got 2 eggs in the nest, and they nest on the ground. It's really strange, but at any rate, today is chock full of house calls. It is Friday, the 20th, and I honestly would like to return this week for a full refund. 142 bucks on the wrong tank, and another 250 bucks on the right tank. And I took my King Midget to Ohio to get a boatload of work done to it. Getting 2 master cylinders installed with fuel line, excuse me, with fuel line, or brake line, hard brake lines, and wheel cylinders, and the whole 9. Custom made hubs, and the custom made hubs are actually going to be wearing Mini Cooper, the old vintage Mini Cooper wheels. And there's my buddy Larry holding the Mini Cooper wheels, and they're 10-inch instead of 8-inch, and they're about twice as wide as the stock tires. So I will have to fabricate a set of back fenders. I think I mentioned that a long time ago in another video. But it's getting, I'm going to work on a couple of heads for a Vanguard, and I'm going to open the valves up and order bigger valves, order beefier push rods. I'm going to deck the head just a little bit, only about 7 or 8 thousandths, just to level them off, and then I am going to take them over to BK Machine and have I've got the seats, the valve seats for the larger valves, but I'm going to have them put the seats in and bed the seats and lap them according to the valves that I'm putting in. And then you guys aren't going to see any of that because it's all being done on the fly, and then I've got to ship the heads to Ohio so that Paul can, I cannot lose that clip. That is my fuel pump electrical connector clip. This must stay in a safe place. There you go. Okay, so why do the heads and nothing else? Well, I didn't say I wasn't doing anything else. It's going to get a governor delete, and it is also getting a hot cam. So the 18 horse is going to end up, when it's all said and done, being about between 25 and between 25 and 28 horse, and we'll have in the area 55 foot-pounds of torque roughly. So it'll propel that car really well. It's going to have a CVT transmission, like I said, making a complete new engine hanger. It's going to have a real rear suspension with using actually shocks almost identical to these shocks right here. using motorcycle shocks. So that'll level the back end of it up. They will be adjustable shocks. The front is getting just a mild suspension because there's not a lot of weight up there at all, so they don't need much. And it's getting a Mustang 2 cut down manual rack and pinion installed in place of the Crosley steering gearbox. Suppose you guys can look at me sweating here. A Crosley box is coming out, and the whole front end is getting redone to accommodate the rack and pinion steering. What else is getting done? A custom exhaust. I wanted to use the muffler that came with it because it's really quiet, but Paul showed me on his, he has a 35 horse Briggs Vanguard. I'm gonna clamp you guys here so that I don't have to hold you. Let me see here. There we go. Give me a second. I'll go ahead and I'll post this video because it's kind of a King Midget update and a Ruby update. Then we'll get back into Ruby when the time comes. But the rack and pinion setup in the front, juice brakes on all 4 wheels. It's got cable brakes right now and only on the rear, and the right rear hangs hard. When you step on it, just locks that wheel up, and the clutch really doesn't like that. But anyway, totally new hubs. It will be a King Midget bolt pattern, custom made hub with conical roller bearings, just like big boy car. In the end, the car will do the sketchy end will be 75 to 80 miles an hour. That'll be pretty sketchy for as light as that car is, but it will do it. Max RPM, we will be able to increase the max RPM of the engine to between 5,000 and 5,500. We're just going to have to see where it's happiest, and also we're going to have to play with the clutch weights on the CVT to get the best low end acceleration and the engagement point. We want to start getting into the torque band a little bit before those weights let go and start moving the car. The forward and reverse gearbox, and that's all it is. It has forward gear and reverse gear. That's it. That's its job, is to make you go forward or to make you go backward. It's a 1-to-1. It's very robust. It's like a bevel gearbox on these garden tractors. That is getting rebuilt, and a couple of more modern touches added into it. For example, oil light bushings where it's just metal to metal and relying on the gear lube that's in there to keep everything happy. So that's going to change. Hang on. I got a smudge. It didn't help much, did it? There. Okay. So quite a bit going to be getting done to the King Midget. The initial price, I blew that out of the water. I blew it out of the water myself, so I'm my own worst enemy. That's why I want to return this week, because this week has cost me. Oh, plus I went to the eye doctor yesterday. These glasses with the lenses and the frames and the eye exam and everything, I paid right around $250 for. And I thought that was kind of steep. I've had these for 15 years. My eyes have changed, not drastically, but enough that I can't read dates on coins. So had my eye exam done, and these are going to get, after I get my regular glasses, these are going to get sent in to have just reading glasses with blue blocker on them, so that I can wear these at the computer and not have to tilt my head up, because when I'm sitting at the computer answering emails and stuff, I have to hold my glasses up so that I'm in the reader part of my transition lenses, and these are transitions. I say transitions, they're blended bifocals, not transitions. But the 2 pair of glasses and my eye exam take a stab in the dark. Those of you who wear glasses probably already have an idea. And no, I don't have eye insurance, so I'll just tell you, $750+ for an eye exam and 2 pair of glasses. The other pair of glasses that I got are like these. They're the titanium that will not break. These have lasted 15 years. That's why I'm hanging onto the frames and getting the lenses put in for just readers. And these are only going to cost about $150. All the rest of that $750, that $600, was for my daily pair of glasses and my eye exam and the lenses, just with the anti-scratch coating on them. Nothing else. Lovely, isn't it? So that's why I want to return this week, because I've got $6,000 for the King Midget, $750 on my glasses, $150 for one gas tank, $250 for another gas tank, or $225 for another gas tank. I want to return this week. I want all my money back. All right, that's enough of me yammering. That is just an update in life, I guess you can call it. Ruby will be coming back in the shop as soon as we get the correct fuel tank in. We've got the quick loop. We lost cover over here on 7118. I have to get the cover back on it, but 7118 and 7116 will be coming in the shop to get just a short list of stuff done. We just got to get the hood on this, and there's a couple things about the front axle that I'm not happy with. I want to tinker with and get that straightened out, but it'll be ready to go, and those two will be ready to go hopefully by next weekend. That is the plan. But right now I have to go help my aunt. Her ride mower quit on her. She has a John Deere 0-turn, so I gotta get Clifford over here, load Clifford up with the tools that I'm gonna need that are currently in Ruby's toolbox. And I'm also going to be taking this engine with me, because from the way it sounded to me like she locked up the engine, overheated and locked up the engine. So just in case, I'm gonna bring this engine with me and just do the swap out there. So if it comes down to me needing to just grab my trailer and bring it here, I'll do that. But then I'll take a mower out to my aunt so she's got something to mow with. That'll round it out. This is your friendly neighborhood Zippo. I promise you guys, I will see you when I see you. Thanks for hanging out with me. This has been a really long babble at 17 and almost 18 minutes. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. Later. I'm out of here. I want to return this week. It's not stopping. I'm pushing the button. I'm pressing enter.